Hey everybody, welcome to another video of reselling history. Sorry it's been a while since my last video. I've been super busy lately with the family and at work, and of course just pushing a lot of product on my eBay store, so just been super busy. But I did find some time to make a video tonight. I actually want to show you guys a recent purchase of mine. I bought a World War II veteran's items, like all his personal items, from somebody actually on eBay, and it all came from the same soldier, most likely. We'll get into that later, but I paid 150 bucks for everything, and I think there's some super neat items, some historical artifacts. So let's get right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and please subscribe to this channel so you can be notified for future videos. All right, everybody, the first item we got here from the veterans lot is a little pouch with his name on it, and you can see his name was Carl Edward Berry. I've done a little research on him, and he's from Iowa. He died in the year 2000, and right here you have his service number, and this is just like a pretty typical personal effects pouch. And it actually, if you open it up, it still has some of his items in here, which I think is pretty incredible. Like right here, you have Dr. Lyon's tooth powder. And this is definitely from World War II era. And you also have his shaving razor. And this looks like it was made by, let's see, this is made by Gillette. So this is pretty typical of that era as well. And then lastly, right here, I'm actually not sure what this is. Double cap shaving stick. Wow, so this is, I've never seen something like this before. Let me open it up. Hopefully it doesn't make a mess. Wow, yeah, so I'm not really entirely sure what this is. I'll have to do a little research. Some sort of a shaving stick, and it has like all these metal chains. Yeah, not sure, but this is pretty interesting because it's all in pretty untouched condition, and that's what the collectors like, is when things are untouched. All right, and next up here we have some more items from the veteran, and here is a first aid dressing, camouflaged. This is from World War II, it looks like, never been opened. Pretty neat stuff. And just more of his personal effects. Like here are some belt buckles that he probably wore with his uniform. I like to make sure that they don't have, you know, sometimes a lot of the GIs and soldiers, they would like scratch their initials, or if they're bored, you know, just make some artwork on their belt buckles, but I didn't see any on that one. And then there's another little pouch here. Let's see what's inside of here. All right, interesting. This is his sewing kit. A lot of the GIs had sewing kits in the fields. If their uniform came undone, you need to sew something up. They all were required to know how to sew, much different from a lot of men nowadays, including myself. Maybe this is a sign for me to learn how to sew myself. All right, and we have some more interesting artifacts. So let's open this up. I saw this in the photos. I wasn't entirely sure what it was, but it did look pretty interesting and neat. And this is some sort of magnifying glass. Oh yeah, I might be able to use this for myself. Let's see, open up this paper, see what it is. Light Intensifier Company. Wow, interesting. So this is something that's it looks like it's new, old stock possibly, and you use these little metal pieces, and you put it on a light bulb, and it kind of becomes a flashlight. It magnifies the light in one direction. So I don't think this is military related, but it looks like it's keeping with that era, 1940s era. Pretty fascinating. And then right here it says members of the armed forces twin marker. So this is a personalized marking kit for marking clothes and equipment of the American Armed Forces, dated 1944. So let's see what these letters are. So right here is, I want to be careful just in case this is leaking. Here is the ink, and it still has ink in there. You have the letters. It's, I want to say that's B1676. I'm not sure what that number signifies, but somewhere along the way, the gentleman had to mark some of his equipment or clothing. So interesting. I'll have to do some more research. I don't know if these were given out to all the soldiers or something they would just buy on their own. And then we have some other little, looks like a little belt slash suspender right here. Oh, interesting. This is actually in German, this suspender right here. I'm wondering if this is some sort of a German, I don't know, maybe a German piece of equipment, if anybody can translate that. Could be a bring back from World War II, or it could just be something he had later on. Interesting. There's also this Weston light meter. Now, I don't think this is military related, but it looks like he had probably a hobby of taking photos. You have a few more belt buckles. And then there's a little pouch here, and it says Gift of American Red Cross. Let's see what's inside. It looks like the buttons ripped off. Sounds like buttons. Yep, it is buttons. Plenty of them. Always want to check all the pockets. You never know what you're going to find. Yeah, it looks like a lot of buttons. I'll have to double check in there to make sure there's nothing crazy hiding. All right, everybody. Things are starting to get more interesting now. Here is a Camp Keller booklet from World War II. And I love these little boxes of smalls and patches. So let's take a look at these patches. A lot of these look like they're from World War II era. Yep. And let's see what he was part of. All right, so I just went through his patches really quick, and they are all U.S. Army. So this is Patton's 3rd Army. And right here is 4th Corps, U.S. Army. And this is a, I believe this is an Army service patch. And this is, off the top of my head, I think this is some sort of U.S. Army Air Corps patch. I'm not entirely sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then lastly, you have a U.S. Army 6th Division patch. So let's set these patches aside. And let's take a look at what's in here. So first off, this is Rembrandt Selected Briar. So this is, looks like a cigar or a pipe box. And here is his name, Private Barry. And you have some more belt buckles. So I have plenty of belt buckles now. Solid brass. And we have one of his uniform service buttons. Oops. And some U.S. Army collar discs. And a shell casing. And that's really it for, oh, U.S. 17th. U.S. 17th. This is a nice one right here. Nice collar disc. 17th Infantry. Not really sure. Have to do some research, but this is a nice one. Nice gold color. All right, and these are the last of the items and my favorite items from this grouping. And first up is this trench lighter right here. And these were pretty common in World War II among the GI. And I'm not sure if it works. I haven't tested it, but it looks like it's in pretty decent condition. It should be able to be fixed up pretty easily. These aren't super expensive, but if they're in working condition, they can maybe be up to $40 or $50. But these are always pretty popular in the lighter collecting community. And next up is something really fascinating, and this might be something potentially pretty valuable. This is a 17th Infantry Regimental Commander Award. So right here it has the crest for the 17th Infantry Regiment, and if you turn it around, it does have some initials carved in the back. It says JK, which is totally different from what this veteran's name is, where I got all of these items. So this might have been something he picked up along the way, given to by a friend.
Hey everybody, so I wanted to clarify a couple things. So this badge, I did some more research after the video, and I reached out to a friend who knows a lot of history behind the 17th Infantry Regiment, and with some digging, he found out, it actually turns out this badge is from the 1930s, so this is pre-World War II era, and it turns out the veteran, he was born in 1918, and he probably joined the army in about 1936 or 37, and he was actually in the 17th Infantry himself. So he was issued this. Nobody really knows what these badges were issued for exactly. Even this expert didn't know. But it is a very rare badge, he told me. You know, it's not something like with crazy value, but it is very hard to come by. He's only seen a handful in all his years collecting, and it's probably like a $50 to maybe $150 badge. But yeah, super interesting find, and it also explains why there's many different patches in this grouping, because once the soldier got out of the army in the late 30s, he probably rejoined during the onset of World War II for the United States, so that explains why there's different patches and stuff like that. But yeah, a very unique find for sure, and I'm glad I got the history down on this one.
And now that I'm just realizing this is 17th Infantry, and right here this collar just says US 17, so I'm not sure if that's some sort of connection there. But like I said, I'll have to do some more research on the veteran to see if maybe he was part of the 17th at some point. And last but not least, you guys know that I'm super into old watches, especially military type watches, and I just couldn't pass this up when I saw this in the photos. And this is a beautiful Oris military style watch. This is not an issue watch during World War II, but it kind of stays in lines with the military style of then. In fact, this watch is probably from the late 40s, maybe early 50s, but I don't think it's quite like 1944-45 era, but I could be wrong. But it's a really beautiful watch. It's in good condition. It's not running though. And as you can see, the dial, it just has some great patina on there. In fact, it's kind of reflective, and that's because it has that illuminescence painted on there, aka it's a radiation dial. So this is a little bit of a radioactive dial. In fact, they say that watchmakers who, when they work on these watches, they usually wear a breathing mask so they're not breathing in any radioactive dust or anything like that. But yeah, the hands are in good condition. The dial looks nice patina to the watch. I kind of like it scuffed up like that, and I really like the military type strap. In fact, this might be a World War II strap that was issued to those field watches back then, but anyways, I'm probably going to keep this watch and just get it fixed and add it to the collection. Super neat watch.
Well, everybody, that's all for the video. If there's anything you want to talk about, please drop a comment down below. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Actually, next weekend, I'm going to a Militaria show here in Phoenix, so I'm going to be making a video for that and hopefully find some cool stuff. All right? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.